Most people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect confidence. But here's the truth: your dreams aren't waiting for perfection, they're waiting for you. They're standing at the door, tapping their feet, wondering when you'll stop doubting yourself and start showing up. The clock isn't your enemy, hesitation is. Life doesn't reward those who wait for permission, it rewards those who take the leap. So the real question is, your dreams are waiting, are you? Dreams don't come with expiration dates. There's no best before printed on your imagination. But somewhere along the way, we start treating them like milk cartons, checking the date, giving them a sniff, and deciding they've gone bad because life got too busy or we got too scared. We convince ourselves that time has passed, that maybe the dream was too big, or maybe we just aren't the same person anymore. But here's the beautiful truth: your dreams are still right where you left them, patiently waiting for you to come back. See, dreams don't quit on people. People quit on dreams. And not because the dream changes, but because the dreamer does. When we were kids, our dreams were outrageous: to fly, to build, to make a difference. Nobody told us we couldn't. And then, little by little, the world taught us to be realistic. Realistic, that word sounds safe, doesn't it? But it's just a polite way of saying settle down. The moment you trade your dream for something realistic, you start existing instead of living. Let me tell you something: time doesn't kill dreams. Doubt does. You can put your dream on a shelf for years, come back, and still find it glowing. It may be dusty, sure. It may not look as shiny as it once did, but it's still yours. It's still calling your name. And if you have the courage to reach for it again, it'll forgive you instantly, like an old friend who's just happy you finally showed up. The truth is, it's never too late to begin. You can be 25, 45, or 75 and still wake up one morning and decide, you know what, I'm not done yet. People who chase their dreams late in life aren't lucky, they're brave. They refuse to let the clock dictate their purpose. There's this idea that success has an age limit, but that's nonsense. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. Vera Wang designed her first dress at 40. Your dream doesn't care how old you are. It just cares how much you believe. And here's something most people don't tell you: your dream might evolve, but that doesn't mean it's dead. Maybe you wanted to be a rock star, and now you're teaching kids to love music. Maybe you wanted to be an astronaut, and now you're building models of rockets in your garage. The form changes, the fire doesn't. What matters is that you never stop chasing something that makes you feel alive. Because the moment you stop reaching, the moment you stop trying, your world gets smaller. The walls close in, and you start calling it comfort, when in reality it's a cage. Comfort zones are where dreams go to hibernate, and most people never wake them up again. But if you're willing to stretch, to risk looking foolish, to take that one uncomfortable step forward, something amazing happens. The dream starts to move toward you. So, if you've buried a dream under, someday, dig it up. Wipe the dust off. Take a good look at it. It might still be whispering, "I've been waiting for you." And maybe, just maybe, today's the day you answer back, "Well, I'm finally here." Now, your dreams haven't expired. They've just been waiting for you to remember why you had them in the first place. If you ever want to meet the biggest thief in your life, don't look for a person. Look in the mirror when you're afraid. Fear steals more dreams than failure ever could. It doesn't just stop you from trying, it convinces you that trying isn't even worth it. And the worst part, fear dresses itself up like logic. It tells you things that sound reasonable. It's not the right time. You're not ready. What if it doesn't work out? But here's the truth. It never feels like the right time, and nobody ever feels completely ready. Fear is sneaky like that. It whispers instead of shouts. It disguises itself as practicality, responsibility, even humility. It tells you that dreaming big is foolish, that being cautious is smart. And sure, caution keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. Playing it safe might protect you from failure, but it also protects you from success. I've met so many people who say, "I wanted to chase my dream, but I was scared. Scared of rejection, scared of disappointment, scared of being laughed at." But you know what's scarier? Waking up one day realizing that fear made every decision for you. Realizing you let something invisible dictate the direction of your life. Fear doesn't go away with time, it grows roots. It learns your habits. It memorizes your excuses. And the longer you feed it, the stronger it gets. But here's the thing, fear isn't a wall, it's a fog. It looks thick from a distance, but when you walk into it, you realize it's mostly air. Every time you take one small step through fear, it gets thinner. The first step is always terrifying. Your heart races, your mind floods with what ifs, but on the other side of fear is clarity. You start to see what's possible. You realize it wasn't the mountain that was stopping you, it was the shadow it cast. Failure, at least, gives you something, a lesson, experience, maybe even a funny story to tell later. But fear gives you nothing. It's an empty, tradie safety for regret. You don't get to fail, but you don't get to live either. And regret, trust me, weighs a lot more than failure ever will. Think about this. No great invention, no inspiring story, no breakthrough ever started with someone who wasn't afraid. Every hero, every success story began with fear in the passenger seat. The difference is, they didn't let it drive. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision that something else matters more. And that something else, your dream, your purpose, your heart's work, deserves that courage. Let me tell you a secret. Fear never really disappears. It just changes shape. It's always going to be there before every big step, every new chapter. But over time, you learn that fear isn't an enemy to defeat, it's a signal. It means you're standing at the edge of something meaningful. It means you care. It means you're alive. So the next time fear shows up, and don't wait for it to vanish. Invite it to walk with you, but not ahead of you. Say, you can come, but I'm still going. Because courage doesn't roar, sometimes it just whispers, let's do it anyway. In the end, fear's only power is the one you give it, and when you decide to move anyway, even if your hands are shaking and your voice is trembling, that's when your dream starts to believe you might actually be serious this time. Your dreams are waiting. Fear is too. Only one of them deserves your attention. Most people have good intentions. They intend to start their business someday. They intend to write that book, call that person, go back to school, get fit, fix what's broken. But intention, no matter how sincere, never built anything on its own. The world isn't moved by intentions, it's moved by action. The difference between a dreamer and a doer is just one small word: start. You can plan forever, perfect forever, and talk about your dream forever. But until you move, your dream is just a really nice thought taking up mental real estate. Some people have been about to start for 20 years. They'll tell you, I'm just waiting for the right time. Here's the reality. There is no right time. There's only now, and now is already halfway gone. See, the universe has a funny sense of humor. It doesn't reward people who wait for signs. It rewards people who take the first step and make their own. The truth is, clarity comes from action, not the other way around. You don't get confidence first and then act, you act, and then confidence shows up. It's like learning to swim. You can read every manual ever written about swimming, but until you get in the water, you're just an expert in staying dry. And yes, action is messy. You'll trip, you'll fail, you'll look ridiculous sometimes. But that's part of the deal. Every great success story started with a moment that looked like a mistake. Edison failed over 1,000 times before making the light bulb. He didn't even call them failures, he called them discoveries. He said, I just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's not stubbornness, that's faith in motion. You'll never think your way into success. You have to act your way into it. The first step might be small, writing a single page, making one phone call, spending 10 minutes on your craft, but it matters. Momentum is built, not wished for. The moment you start moving even clumsily, life starts responding. Doors you didn't even see before begin to open. People show up. Opportunities appear. It's almost like your dream was waiting for proof that you were serious. The irony is, we spend so much time worrying about making the wrong move that we forget not moving at all is the worst move. Inaction feels safe, but it's the slowest form of self-sabotage. It's like sitting in a parked car with the engine running. You're burning fuel but going nowhere. And I get it, action is scary because once you act, failure becomes a possibility. But so does success, so does growth, so does pride, so does life. The fear of doing something wrong keeps more people stuck than the pain of actually doing it wrong ever could. You can fix mistakes, you can't fix never trying. So start, not tomorrow, not after things calm down, not when you feel inspired. Start now. with whatever you have wherever you are, because your dream doesn't need perfection, it just needs movement, progress, not polish, effort, not excuses. You'll learn more from 1 hour of doing than from a lifetime of planning. And here's the beautiful twist. Once you start, you realize that action itself becomes addictive. The rush of making things happen, of seeing tiny results, of building momentum. It fuels you. It's how dreams turn from maybe one day into I'm doing it. Remember, intention is a wish. Action is a promise. And every time you choose action, you're telling your dream, I'm coming for you. Let's get one thing straight. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the tuition you pay to get there. You can't graduate from the school of life without a few bruises, a few regrets, and a few faceplants. And the best part, each failure comes with its own little lesson, though sometimes it's disguised as embarrassment. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you had the courage to show up when others didn't. We live in a world that worships winning. We celebrate the victory laps, but rarely talk about the miles of falling, crawling, and getting up again that led to it. But here's a secret the highlight reels won't tell you. Behind every success story is a messy draft full of mistakes. Nobody posts their failures on social media, but those are the moments that actually build the person you become. Failure isn't a stop sign, it's a detour that takes you where you really need to go. You see, failure is honest. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't lie to make you feel good. It gives you raw feedback. This didn't work. That's not an insult. That's information. That's data you can use to grow. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they stop too soon. The difference between someone who makes it and someone who doesn't is often just one more try. One more risk. One more brave. Let's see what happens. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall hundreds of times before they take a single step. Yet no parent looks at a baby and says, maybe walking just isn't for you. Because falling is part of walking, failure is part of mastery. The moment you realize that, failure stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like progress. And if you're afraid of failing, remember this, not trying is still failing, just without the lessons. When you don't take the shot, you don't just avoid missing. You guarantee it. The most successful people you know have failed more times than most people have even tried. They've just learned to treat failure like feedback, not a verdict. I once heard someone say, don't fear failure. Fear being in the exact same place next year as you are today. That hit me hard, because comfort might feel safe, but it's just a slow kind of dying. Failure, on the other hand, is alive. It's messy, it's painful, but it means you're still playing the game. And let's be honest, failure builds character in ways success never can. Success feels good, sure. It feeds your ego, but failure feeds your soul. It teaches you humility, resilience, perspective. It makes you grateful when you finally get there. It teaches you that strength isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. So don't fear failure. Learn from it. Talk about it. Collect your scars like badges because they're proof that you had the courage to chase something worth falling for. The people who fail the most are often the ones who end up making the biggest impact. Why? Because failure didn't stop them. It trained them. In the end, the only real failure is refusing to try because you're scared you might not make it. Every stumble is a story, every mistake a memory, every setback a stepping stone. If you're failing, congratulations. You're in motion, you're alive, and you're closer than you think. So the next time you fall flat, take a breath, smile, and whisper to yourself, at least I'm still in the game. Because that's what dreamers do. They fall, they rise, and they keep going until their dreams finally stop waiting and start walking beside them. We live as if we've been promised a lifetime of tomorrows, but nobody ever signed that contract. Later sounds harmless, doesn't it? It's just a delay, a promise to get to it eventually. But later is the most dangerous word in the English language, because later becomes soon becomes someday, and someday quietly turns into never. Life doesn't wait for us to be ready. It happens while we're busy preparing for it. We love to say things like, I'll chase my dream when things settle down, or I'll start when I have more time. But here's the truth. Things rarely settle down, and time never shows up with a bouquet at your doorstep. If you're waiting for perfect conditions, you'll spend your whole life in the waiting room. The secret is realizing that life doesn't begin when everything is figured out. It begins when you decide to start anyway. When you live in the later, you live in imagination, not in experience. You think about what could be instead of feeling what is. You keep your dreams in a box marked someday, believing it's safe there. But the longer it stays boxed up, the more it fades. Dreams thrive on momentum, not postponement. Every time you tell yourself, not yet, you're teaching your heart to settle. And here's something I've learned: the future doesn't need your attention as much as this moment does. Right now, this second is the only place where life actually happens. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, just here. We spend so much time worrying about where we're going that we forget to look at where we are. We chase the next milestone, the next success, the next "I'll be happy when" moment. But happiness isn't hiding in the next chapter. It's written in the margins of the one you're living now. The people who live fully aren't the ones with more time. They're the ones who make time count. They don't wait to be inspired to take action. They act their way into inspiration. They understand that moments don't have to be perfect to be meaningful. It's not about grand gestures or big breakthroughs. It's about showing up for your own life right now before it passes by unnoticed. And the truth is, later feels safe because it lets us hide. It gives us an excuse to stay comfortable, to delay risk, to avoid failure. But comfort is just a slow way of saying goodbye to your potential. Every "not today" pushes your dreams one step further away. You'll never feel ready, and that's okay. Life doesn't ask for readiness, it asks for willingness. So start small, start scared, start unsure, but start. Call that person, write that first line, book that ticket, launch that idea, tell someone you love them. You don't need to have the perfect plan. You just need to have the courage to begin. Because every dream you've ever had is waiting for one simple thing: your presence. One day, you'll look back and realize that the things you were afraid to start were never as hard as the regret of not starting at all. The clock is ticking either way. Might as well make every second count for something that matters. Don't live your life rehearsing for tomorrow. Live it performing today. Because your dreams are waiting right now, standing in the doorway of your heart, asking softly, "Are you finally ready?" So here's the truth, my friend. Your dreams aren't lost, and they're certainly not gone. They're standing right there, waiting for you to stop hesitating and start believing again. Waiting for you to remember that the world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It just needs the real one. The one who's scared, but still shows up. The one who's tired, but still takes one more step. The one who knows that dreams don't happen by chance, they happen by choice. Success, happiness, fulfillment, they don't come wrapped in guarantees. They come wrapped in effort, in courage, in the willingness to fail forward. Every time you move closer to your dream, no matter how small the step, you are rewriting the story of your life. And that's something extraordinary. So, if no one's told you this lately, you can still do it. It's not too late, you're not too far behind, and your best chapters haven't been written yet. You've got time, but not forever, so use it. Don't wait for motivation to strike, create it. Don't wait for the right moment, make this moment right. And when you stumble, because you will, get back up, laugh a little, and remind yourself that even the falls are part of the dance. Every dream worth chasing asks for patience, persistence, and a little bit of madness. So good luck, not the kind that depends on stars aligning, but the kind that lives in your hands, in your choices, in your courage to keep going. Go chase that dream with everything you've got. Be bold enough to begin, brave enough to continue, and humble enough to learn. Because one day when you finally catch your dream, you'll realize it wasn't waiting for success. It was waiting for you.